Test, test.
Yes.
Do it again.
Hello, hello, hello.
Test, test.
Test, test. Hello, hello.
And welcome to the Midday Show. I think we made it. I think we're here. Video's working. Hopefully the audio's working. And we have some interesting stories for you, kind of post-COVID related. We're going to talk about what's going to happen to jobs now, what's going to happen to our pets, and then we're going to try to tackle Quizzo again. Mark, how are you doing today?
Well, now that we're on, I'm doing really well. When I was singing there, did that go out over the? How did that work?
I don't know. You did a rendition. What was it? Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. That's what I had a buddy that used to do that all the time. Whenever they would do like mic check, he would sing Blue Moon. Like when you pull up to the drive-through, if the lady said like hold on, he would sing into the microphone. So I don't know. It's kind of a tribute to a long lost friend.
No, that was good. One of the things that you brought up the story, you found it on Twitter, and actually the more we dug into it, the more, not that it wasn't real, but it's kind of widespread. Obviously, there was a boom during COVID. Everybody that had waited to get a dog, waited to get a pet, now had the time to do it while everyone was stuck at home. And there ends up being kind of a counter effect to that now as we're trying to move past COVID.
People are taking their pets back.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they were stuck inside for a year, or well, it wasn't quite a year, but whatever. They were stuck inside, so they're like, let's get a dog. Now that they're not stuck inside anymore, they're like, we don't want a dog anymore. So, you know, these are some of the things that the fallout that we never thought would come.
Right.
And this is one of them. Like and it's surprising too, because people, you always know, like the shelters are filled with dogs that get abandoned and dogs that are mistreated and things like that. But you would suspect, you know, most people, once they bond with their pet, and, you know, there's a lot of people that rather give away their own kids than their pets. So to see this happen at the rate, like, where did I see the story in Bloomberg? Like, this was a national, this wasn't just some podunk press release from some, you know, play. This was like a big national story.
Yeah. So there's a story right now about in Colorado, they're averaging, just one sanctuary is averaging 14 dogs a day right now in Colorado being dropped off. There's another story that in England and Wales, they're estimating that about 40 pets a day at some facilities are being dropped off right now. So it is like, it's not like a dog a day. It's not like it is like massive. Can you, like, some of these shelters, I can't even imagine them taking in 5 dogs, let alone 40 different pets. I mean, that's almost unsustainable.
Well, I know Laps, which is a cat. I was going to say a cat house, but that has different connotation. But it's a no-kill shelter. And so there's a certain number that they can house until they're adopted. And I know, and this is even way before COVID, like they were always like right at the limit. Like you're trying to take a cat back and they're like, we don't have room for it because we don't have so many. So yeah, if you ever went through the SPCA, like there were not a lot of empty cages. And now when you're bringing back, and it's just not, oh, they brought back 5 this month. When you're talking about every day, and it's insane. So we're going to look further into this story, but these are the fallouts that when COVID started, nobody knew where the world was going to go. This is something that we never saw coming.
No, it's just, again, something that you don't think of. The other one, and you brought this up too, I thought you brought up a good point, because in my naive history, because I'm not as old as you, anytime I get a chance to say that, I love saying it.
Because you're not as old as me.
Because I'm not as
obvious.
old as you.
Let me tell you something. Just because of the general aches and pains that I feel every day and that you feel, you can tell that I'm a lot older than you.
For sure. Because I'm not as old as you, for me, job creation is something that has always been in the rhetoric. Like, it is something that with every campaign, with every 4 years, you hear about job creation. And you brought up the good point that it's probably the first time that it's not an actual beneficial line or something to aspire to.
Well, I was at, an hour ago, I was at the county commissioners meeting, and I had to bail. It was a long meeting, and I had to bail out before we got to public comment. And I'm not really sure. I've been to county commissioner meetings, but I'm not a veteran. So I don't really know the ins and outs. I'm thinking the questions that I want to ask these elected officials. And they don't always have to do with local, which is kind of, they're like, as I'm asking for the guidance from the people next to me, they're like, I'm not sure you should ask about national politics, but whatever. But one of the local things I want to talk about, I think it was Commissioner Scott Metzger posted something. There's a new business coming in up Route 15 above Williamsport. And I don't remember what it was. I read the article, but I don't remember. And one of the things that it touted was how many new jobs it's going to bring to the area. And every other year, as you've said, every other year of our lives, this is great. Right now, I'm just thinking that this is almost bad. Like, we don't want new jobs. We need people to fill the jobs that are here. So it's insane that this is where we are in life. And one of the other things about the county commissioner meeting, one of the speakers was a guy from the local prison. I say a guy from the local prison. He was like the warden.
Yes.
But and they were talking about acclimating the former prisoners back into society, because the people at the county prison are not murderers and lifers. They're people that have been in for lesser crimes and for way shorter amounts of time. Well, if there's ever been a point in history where prisoners acclimating themselves back into society and getting gainful employment, I had a buddy that posted on Facebook one day. He said, don't even bother filling out an application. Just show up at some place and punch in. Yeah. And that's really where society is. So, I don't know. This is another COVID fallout.
You and I before used the example of, like, when you're a teenager or a college student at the beach. And anybody who's worked at the beach during the summer, like, you get a waiting job or you're washing dishes. And if you don't like it, you just quit and go to the next one. And you just keep going to that. Like, if
you don't like it, if you're out too late the night before and you miss your shift and you get fired, you just keep walking down the boardwalk till you find another one.
Yeah, and that's kind of going. I think there's going to be some of that mentality. Just instead of it being 20-year-olds at the beach, I think a little bit of that is here.
Did you spend a summer at the beach?
I spent summers at the beach. I didn't spend like full summers, but there were like chunks of time. Like, I've been there for like 3-4 weeks at a time.
Really?
Kind of just kind of picking off of other people's places, and just kind of figured it out as I went.
I mean, I know people who did. I never did. I don't, but I don't like the beach that much. Yeah. But you being a farm kid from Blossburg, the beach is just right up your alley.
It was. So much so I built one. This was the other story, and I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit because you had brought up the job creation thing. NBC News just released job openings leaped over about 8 million in March. So that's a new record high. And even in the subtitle, they basically say, like, unusual generous unemployment benefits and lingering virus-related impediments to working are the cause. And you and I have talked about this, and I even, to the point where I've kind of like broken it down in my head, I do think unemployment is a part of it. And I think the benefits right now for unemployment, personally, I think they're too high. But I think that's like a quarter of this. And you and I have had like small discussions about it, but I think part of it also too, like the stimulus, people actually having like a chunk of money to like ride out in the meantime is hurting it. But also too, like the time off changed people. Like the time off, and some of the things I jotted down here, like the time off allowed people to learn how to make money online. It taught people how, it gave people the amount of time to like figure out, well, oh, I can actually make money off of something I enjoy doing, or I can do it using my computer and sitting at home. I think the time off, it taught, for me especially, I learned how not to spend. Like, it was nothing for me to go out on a weekend, 2-3 different places, have a nice lunch, a nice dinner, drinks, and then the next day, a nice lunch. And that was my weekend. And it was just lots of money. And now, like, I've kind of learned to curb that. Like, I don't need to do it as often as I did. And the other thing too, that like I've kind of figured out, I think other people have figured out too, things are expensive. And what I mean by that is, like, childcare is expensive. So maybe it's easier to have a parent stay home. Driving to work can be expensive. Maybe it's easier to find a job that I don't have to drive to. Like, my physical and my mental health can be expensive. Like, if I can find a job where I'm not beating myself up physically, right? Or if I can find a job where mentally I'm in a better place, I think to just blame this on unemployment benefits, I think is super, like, it's really narrowing something down that's much broader.
I think it is much broader. I mean, I think the benefits have a lot to do with it. And I saw this posted on Facebook, so I don't know if it's true or not, but that Montana cut unemployment benefits because they're just like, it's not helping. And with all these things that, like, COVID, jobs shut, we need to help people. We'll give them rent relief. Well, if you don't have to pay rent, you need to work less.
Right.
So I think there are so many governmental programs that have allowed people to survive quite comfortably without working, that they're just like, this, my life is better now without working.
Yeah.
So what's really going to be interesting in the future here is when they stop this and when these jobs start getting filled. And now people are like, well, because now you have no excuse.
Sure.
If you were milking the benefits and not working, and then all these jobs get filled, and now you can't find one, and you turn around and say, then, I don't want to say joke's on you, but there has to be an end to this somewhere, or the productivity of the country is just going to disappear.
I agree. There has to be an end to it. And it's 100%. The unemployment benefits and the relief is definitely a part of it. I think there's two types of people, and you kind of hinted at this. There were people who took that time and figured out other ways to make money, other ways to save money, other ways to not spend money. And then you have another set of people, as to your point of what you're saying, is like they've really depended on the relief and on the unemployment benefits. And there's going to come a day where it stops and they're looking around like, well, what do I do now? So I think it's split more than what people realize. I think even if you cut the unemployment benefits and the relief, I don't think it's going to be the surge of employment that people think it's going to be. I think there's a faction of people that have really figured this out for themselves.
They're just going to live off the land.
They're going to not even live off the land, but like they have remote jobs. Maybe they're doing something on their computer. Maybe they finally found the passion they were looking for. Like, I think there's a faction of people that are not going back because of necessarily unemployment benefits. They're not going back because they figured out another lifestyle.
Maybe.
I really do.
All right, let's show off brain power. Oh, first we're going to spin. I'm sorry.
We're going to spin. Thank you
to Wise Markets for everything. I think my mom got her COVID shot there too, so thank you for that. But Wise Markets, I'm in there. I will be there and there later today. And actually, my mother has. I don't know if it's because of the COVID shot or because of our show or whatever, but she switched. She used to be a different grocery store attendant, and we have swung her.
Wow.
So again, thank you to Wise Markets for all they do for our show and all they do for our website here and help bring news throughout the region. Obviously, a locally born company starting in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, now spreading over multiple states and hundreds of stores and all that stuff. So thank you to Wise Markets. On the wheel today, we have a $25 gift card to Wise Market, a $50 gift card, and a $100 gift card, all to Wise Markets. We also have a Eat and Run Catering gift card. We have a Moon and Raven gift card, and we have a Break Room gift card. And I missed yesterday, so I'm going to hit today, because I don't miss 2 days in a row. It's like going to the foul line and missing them both. I mean, who would do that? So who is the guaranteed winner today?
So the Facebook group winner from the Midday Show is Kyla Allison today.
Oh, and I should mention this. This is how you get your name. You have to go to Facebook and join the Midday Show group.
Yes.
And then the computer will spit out a name. Today it spit out Kyla Allison. And I wonder if that's her real name. Like, I wonder if it's her.
Middle name?
If it's
or
a middle name,
last
first name, middle name.
Probably not. I use my middle name on Facebook.
It's because you're cool. You're cool like that.
It's because I was a teacher, and at the time, that was like what you had to do.
You had to hide.
Yeah.
You had to hide because of all the illicit things you're doing away from school. They didn't want your kids to know it.
Essentially.
That's your response. That's it. I thought I had a good joke, and that's I'm sorry.
I took it seriously.
I'm sure. All right, here we go.
Give it a
so
spin.
Here's the spin. No prep time, no practice spins. I do watch Wheel of Fortune a lot, though. There we go. I told you. Moon and Raven. I told you I wouldn't miss 2 in a row. See, Jeff, you suck at this. I'm really good. Moon and Raven. Congratulations to Kyla. We will get you that.
Awesome. Great job, Kyla.
Speaking of really good, it's time for me to answer trivia questions.
Yes. So I'm trying to bounce back. I had a horrific performance last week.
Well, last week wasn't fair because it went into it was basically trivia questions about one movie that you've never seen. So that, like I said, if today is about 2009 rap music, I'm in trouble.
You're in trouble. All right. Let's everyone bear with me here, and let's bring on John Mackey. John, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear John. I don't know. Can you hear John?
I can't hear John.
I can't hear John. Hold on, John. Are you muted, John?
I am not muted on my end. No. How about now?
Here's how it works, John. Start singing Blue Moon, and then we'll hear as soon as you kick it. Actually, that would be a good topic of discussion, Jeff. What is your one go-to if you're a karaoke guy? Well, I'm going to force you to multitask while you're
good. Go for it.
Give me your karaoke song. Like you have a gun to your head. You have to do a good job. Which one are you picking?
I have always said I want an anthem song because I want people to be able to sing along. So I've always thought something like Journey, something, where I know people will sing along with me. I always thought was kind of
getting jiggy with it.
Someone in the comments just said Queen, but I feel like that would be Queen. You'd get people to sing along with you, but the range of it would be, you better be.
They better sing along. That's what you think. Yeah. You do something like,
Right.
Have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody? Did we talk about this?
I have seen Bohemian Rhapsody. I actually thought it was a little overrated.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know if it's the greatest movie of all time, but it was good.
How about now, guys? Can you
Speaking of good, if we keep going at this pace, last week, as a reminder, we did this on May 4th, so it was full of Star Wars, and I was full of right answers. I missed one about Boba Fett, because who cares about Boba Fett? Jeff is right now going to get our technical assistant, but I was killing it everywhere else. And I saw Tom Woodruff, who is the local guy here, the Loyal Sock native, who won an Academy Award for makeup from Death Becomes Her, I want to say. It was in like 85. And I saw him, and we were, so he is a costume creature, he loves it. He worked on the King Kong movie. He's working on the Predator movie that's coming up. And I gave him the trivia question as to who had the first speaking part in the original Star Wars, the one that's now A New Hope. And he didn't get it. It was just me, C-3PO. And here I am just filling time.
Yeah.
And didn't we have John? Were we in here last week with John? Is this where we did trivia? Were we in this room? Were we in the other room? Oh, so now we're all kinds of messed up. This is an example, kids, where you should practice it once before you do it. Because if you try to go live, having not done it, you might not be able to hear the guest. And usually we don't really care what John has to say. But right now, he's the only one that has the questions. So it's going to be hard to play trivia if we can't hear John.
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay.
You think it's?
I'm just going to keep talking.
John, we're gonna have you leave and then come back on.
All right.
See ya. Thanks for coming. Good effort. You did very well today.
That's the technical solution.
Well.
That's the technical solution to everything, is just to reboot it, right? Turn it off and turn it back on.
It is fascinating how intelligent our kids are with all this technology, but half their answers to everything is just turn it off and turn it back on. And it is incredible too how technologically advanced our equipment is, and that's how you fix it. because so much of this is out of our range, but anybody can turn it on and turn it back off. Now, turn it
about
off
now?
and turn it back on. Let's see if it works. John, say something.
No?
Son of a gun.
Can the audience hear you?
The audience can hear you,
So
The audience can hear me?
Put in your headphones.
and I'll be able to hear them.
Yeah.
We can
Is that
make that
true?
happen.
Put in your headphones.
This will be good.
I did watch A Quiet Place, so if John signed me the questions, I
Yeah.
would know a little.
Put in headphones.
I don't have any headphones. Is that I'm old like that? I don't have. I have headphones that fit into my phone that someone gave to me, but I don't have headphones that fit into my computer. I do. I shouldn't say that. I do somewhere, but I never use them because I'm not cool like that. So this is the
Yes.
smoothest transition in the
Wow.
history. Here we go. Now I feel like I'm on an airplane. I'm shoving headphones in my ears that everyone else has used. Phoebe's going to.
Can you hear me
geez,
now?
now I got things. What do I have to hit?
Is your sound on your
My sound is down on my computer. You always told me to turn it down.
Yep, but turn it back up this time.
Oh, now I need to turn it up.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Now I
Can you
can.
hear me now?
I'm hearing echoes and laughter. Are we good?
Lots of echoes.
Here.
Here, we gotta mute you again.
Can you hear me now, Mark?
I can hear you. Now I can. Now I-
I'm hearing an echo.
Just give me a second.
How about this?
Here. Put him back on mute. John, go ahead and talk. I can hear John now.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Good. Jeff, you are a problem solver. Here.
Does that work, John? Can you hear us all right?
I can hear you.
This.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Oh, no, we can't do this.
You guys want to do this tomorrow, maybe?
We are delayed. We are way delayed.
Way delayed.
What we
This
just
is
did here,
great.
Jeff came up with a solution to play it through his phone, but there's a delay. This is the equivalent of that scene in Apollo 13 where they dumped all the crap onto the table and said, build something out of this that can get these guys home. And
Well, John, I don't know how else. I don't know how else to do this. I will tell you. I think I know 2 out of the 5, I believe, but I'm not sure how.
well,
else
can
to
we
do
just do the digital questions and John can mouth them in the background and then we'll read them out loud and it'll be like a bad Chinese.
Yeah, and then can you
Kung Fu movie.
just tell us yes or no if it's right or wrong?
Yeah, we can just
Can you-
nod.
So you guys can't hear me right now.
Do you have a whiteboard? Do you have Post-it notes?
Yeah, I do.
Of paper?
It can be like the REM. There we go. Hello. All right. Question number 1. What do we got?
I'll just stand here.
All right, Jeff, fire it up. Let's go.
Question number 1. What does the WD stand for in WD-40? I actually know the answer to this.
Well, good, because then we're a good team. Because I don't. Wait. What? Go ahead.
Okay, so this is what I think it is. I think it has something to do. Do you know what WD-40 was originally used
First
for?
of all, you went from I know it to I think I know it. That is encouraging. It's been 5 seconds.
Here's because do you know where WD-40 came from?
The WD-40 plant.
Okay, it had something to do with rockets and missiles. I don't know exactly, like I'm not smart enough to actually know who created it or why, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with like condensation or like water. I'm pretty sure it's water displacement or it's like water displacement has something to do with that because it was originally used for rockets and missiles.
All right, that's our final answer. Water something. Correct. Look at that. You are okay.
1 for 1.
I am impressed.
You should. That was a good one.
That is good.
You should admit that was.
I
good.
am impressed.
I'm really
Sometimes
thrilled
you
with
know
that.
some stuff,
That was good.
and I would not have guessed that. What's funny is my first thought was Wilkinson Dunn. Isn't that like a law firm or an accounting firm? And they
Wilkinson
sponsor a
Dunn.
Loyal Sock Little League team because I umpired the other day and they were playing. But I was pretty sure that wasn't it.
All right. Question number 2. What two NBA teams play in the oldest and newest arenas? I have good guesses for this.
My first thought of the oldest is Madison Square Garden.
I would say it's Madison Square Garden by a lot. Like, I don't even think
How old's the Boston Garden? Oh, there's a new Boston
there's
Garden.
a new one. It's TD Garden or whatever.
Yeah, well, the Garden when I was a kid to the Garden now is a different place.
Yeah.
They called it the Garden, but they built a new one.
To me, Madison Square Garden is the oldest, probably by like 2 decades.
I would say
3
that.
decades.
So who has a brand new arena?
My guess would be the Golden State Warriors, because this is either their first or their second season in the Chase Center or the Chase Arena.
Oh, what about the Barclay?
No,
It's
That's
newer than
not-
Barclay?
I think Brooklyn's always played in Barclay.
But it hasn't been there very long.
Yeah, but Brooklyn's been a team now for 5 years.
Have
6
they been there
years.
that long?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh, geez.
Remember, because
God, time goes
the
fast.
Russian guy bought them.
I remember.
Prokhorov or whatever.
Yeah. I just that's a good guess for me. So we're gonna say the Knicks. We're gonna say Madison Square Garden and whatever the place is where Golden
I
State
believe it's
plays.
do we need the name of the arena? If it's the name, it's Chase Center. Or
Okay.
Chase Arena.
Knicks and Warriors. There we go. Look at us. Look at us. Arr.
Crushing it.
The only time have you ever been to
Ooh.
Madison Square Garden?
This was a good one. Gary Citro said maybe the Pelicans, which is a good guess. But I think the Pelicans are using the stadium that they had used when Charlotte came. Aren't they?
I don't know.
Yes. John's saying yes.
Did
So
you,
their arena's older.
Have you been to Madison Square Garden?
I have. I got to see Kobe Bryant at Madison Square
The
Garden.
only time I've ever been to Madison Square Garden, and people don't care, but it's a quick little story, so I'll tell it. Because no one's watching anymore because we had
we've had more viewers than we've ever had. They love the chaos.
Did they really?
They love the chaos.
So me and my buddy are there for a job, and they have us put up in a hotel right across from the Garden, and it's a June summer night. We're walking around the city. It's perfect.
Right.
It's 78 degrees. We're just walking. We come around the corner, and there are people everywhere. And I'm like, it's June. And everyone that knows anything knows the Knicks don't play in June.
Right.
So I was like, WNBA? But why? I can't believe there would be this many people for a WNBA game. So we come around the corner and see the front of it, and there's a big Bruce Springsteen banner. And I'm like, Springsteen is in the Garden. So I scalped tickets to get in, which is this will take 30 seconds. So I show up, and I tell my buddy, I'm like, I'm getting in for $20. You watch. And he's like, I get it. So I go up, and there's these guys scalping. These are professional scalper guys. One guy weighs like 300 pounds. And I walk over to him. I was like, how much for the tickets? He's like, 150. I was like, I'm not paying 150. He goes, how much you want to pay? I said, $20. It's like, you will not get in for $20. So I was like, well, I'm not going to pay. So he's like, oh, he plays for 3 hours. So I was like, well, stand here. And there's all these people milling around. Like, it was almost like a carnival that you didn't get inside. And people from Europe and all these people are trying to scalp tickets and whatever.
Yeah.
So Bruce plays for 3 hours. 90 minutes into it, a roadie comes out with a handful of lanyards.
Mhm.
And he's smoking a cigarette. He goes, you guys looking to get in? I said, yeah, why? Can you get us in? He goes, here's the deal. He goes, you give me $25, I'll give you a lanyard. You put it around your neck, you will walk inside. We get inside, you give it back to me. You don't have a seat, but you're in. I'm like, great. I pull out my wallet and I'm like, dude, I got $23. He's like, that's close enough. So I give it to him. He gives me the lanyard. I walk in, and I just walked around, sat in an empty seat. I got to see 90 minutes of the Springsteen show for $23. It's my only trip to Madison Square Garden. That's my story.
It's a good story.
Thank you.
It's a good way to see Madison Square
And I'll tell you one of the other, this is my other memorable night of it. We're standing outside, and as you know, much of the discussion right now is about policemen. So we're standing out and we're all talking, and there's a New York City cop standing there, and we're looking down the street, and there's this blonde walking down the street. I will never forget this. This is little kid from central Pennsylvania in the big city.
Sure.
There's this blonde walking down the street towards us, and we were like, wow. And the cop looks down, he goes, it's a dude. And we're like, what? 50 yards away. She's 50 yards away. She comes up, and she walks right past us, and by the time she gets close, we're like, you're right. And we looked at the cop, we're like, how could you tell? He goes, you can just tell. So that's my other memorable moment.
That was good.
All right, that's the end of my story. Oh, John's got things to say. Sorry.
Yeah. Gary says you almost got to see a New York City jail too. So
Maybe. Who knows? No, it's great though.
sorry, John,
Listen,
what did you have to say?
something about All-Star game in 2015.
Ooh,
Where was-
All-Star game in
where's the
2015.
All-Star game?
That's when you were at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, geez.
Awesome. That'd be a good one.
Nice.
All-Star game at Madison Square would be awesome. Sweet. All right, third question. We're 2 for 2 right now.
We didn't even struggle yet.
Ooh. It's Nurses Week. Thank a nurse.
My
Thank you,
mom's a nurse.
nurses.
My mom is a nurse. I know more about this stuff than I should
well,
know.
good. What nurse founded the American Red Cross?
What's her name? I know this one.
I do not. So this is perfect.
Clara Barton.
Clara Barton?
That's my guess. Clara Barton.
3, 4, 3. This is great. All right. Fourth question. Moving right along.
This I tell you before we we should have given John. John is here. So here I'll try to do. You're at the Brickyard on Wednesday night, and that's at 9. You're at Kimball's on Wednesday night also. Someone is. Is that also at 9 or at 8? That's at 8. Okay, so Kimball's at 8 tomorrow night. Brickyard at 9 tomorrow night. You're at the Rusty Rail tomorrow night early, right? Like 6:30. And so that's all on Wednesday. So Rusty Rail at 6:30. Kimball's at 8. The Brickyard at 9, and you're at the Bullfrog tonight, which is also at 9. Correct?
Bullfrog.
Bulldog.
8:30.
The Bullfrog tonight at 9. And you have one on Thursday. If you have one on Thursday, I forgot what it is.
We should do the Bullfrog at 8:30 tonight.
No, they say the Bullfrog is the smart one.
That's yes.
Well, the Town Tavern. Yes, Town Tavern tomorrow night. Well, people are going to think when we walk in after they watch today's show, they're going to just run. They're going to be like, well, we can't compete with these guys because they know everything.
Yes, especially after they watched us set up this show. They're going to be like, these guys are way too smart for us. All right, 3 for 3.
When I saw you leave the
Fourth
room
question.
to go get Phoebe's help, I knew we were in trouble because I've never seen you not be able to do it before.
Yeah, no, I was like, I don't know how to fix this. Post-it notes fix everything, though.
Question number 4.
Usually described as a vegetable in the cooking world, what is an aubergine, better known as? I don't know how to say this. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, though. Because
I would have thought
I've seen that word.
aubergine would be something that you would tell your kids if you see it on a mountain trail, turn and run. This sounds like something that could bite your leg off. I have no idea I've never heard of an aubergine.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I've seen this. I don't remember if it was a seed packet or if it was like a plant identifier. I'm pretty sure it's an eggplant. I'm like 90% sure, unless you have a better guess.
I thought it was. I would have guessed it had 4 legs and teeth. So I'm going with you.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw it on like a seed plant identifier once, and it was an eggplant.
Eggplant. Look it. God, we may be the 2 smartest people in the world.
I cannot believe. Because on the seed packets, like they have like different names and like different, I don't know, like they're scientific. Is this a scientific name, John? Not sure.
It's what they have. Yeah,
Okay.
all the trees and stuff. They all have.
And I remembered seeing that. That is great. We're 4 for 4.
We are
right
4
now.
for 4.
No pressure.
Now, I'm not saying that we're superstitious, but John, we're muting Mike every week. We do better when we can't hear you.
We're just not distracted by his voice.
It's
All right.
angelic.
Are you ready? Final question.
I'm ready.
Mama, take this badge from me. I can't use it anymore is the first line of what song? I do not know.
You'll know this?
I don't know this.
Oh my gosh, it's knocking on heaven's door. Mama, take this badge from me. Guns N' Roses live version of Knocking on Heaven's Door is it was originally a Dylan song, and Guns N' Roses does an album version on one of the Use Your Illusions. But the live version, I think it was from the Ritz in New York.
Yes.
Find it, listen to it. It's the best. Knocking on Heaven's Door.
But you caught yourself, by the way. You almost said knocking on heaven's door is to die for.
The version.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So it's not even my guess.
Correct. 5 for 5.
Do you want me now? Hold on. Do you want me to sing the whole song now, or would that?
No,
be,
absolutely
okay.
not. That would be the worst possible celebration. I mean, at this point, what do we do? So, do we go to nationals? Like, what's the next?
Yeah,
steps
is
for
there
us,
like
John?
where
do we go for? I guess Bullfrog at 8:30 is the next reasonable step to take.
Is there like an honorary PhD that is coming our way? Is there like?
Is there something? Is there a plaque that goes on the wall? Is there even better? Is there like a title that goes in front of our name now, like Dr. Junior Quizmaster Messina?
There we go.
Perfect.
I feel like we're gonna be like what are they called? Emeritus professors somewhere. We're gonna have job offers after today.
I would think so. I mean, they're out there.
And this is where trivia teams come in. The two that you got, you could have given me 15,000 guesses and I wouldn't have gotten. Like today was perfect. The NBA one, I knew Madison Square Garden. I would have had to take a guess on the new one. I don't know if I'd have got Golden State.
I had no idea the nurse, and I probably would not have gotten the song.
Perfect teamwork right
That
there.
is
So
perfect
all
teamwork.
you jokers that show up at trivia need 6 people. We just need 2. We're like that beach volleyball team, like those hot girls in the bikinis.
This was fun. John, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm going to try to convince Mark Bullfrog at 8:30 tonight.
I know I got my kids tonight. I don't know if I can get
All
out,
right.
but we'll do it soon.
Actually, your kids would help us. 2 out of the 3. 2 out of the 3. I'll put Jimmy on the spot. 2 out of the 3 of your kids would certainly help.
No, like Jimmy knows some stupid stuff because, he's 14 and he knows like what 14-year-old. My girls would be good. My girls would be really helpful.
Yeah. No, Team Messina might be the way to go.
Except here's what would happen. They wouldn't want to.
It is family friendly.
But they would sit at a different table and try to beat us. They wouldn't come to help, but they would be
that's your fault. And first of all, I did not commit to your table. I committed to family Messina table. And if there's 3 over there and 1 at 1, you can guess which table I'm going to.
Yeah, I understand.
John, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we will have this sorted out by next Tuesday.
In theory.
In theory. Thank you, John.
Hey, have a good one.
All right, let's get set back up. So we salvaged that. I feel good about it. We fixed it up, made it work. 5 for 5. You just never know.
Here, I know there's a lot of people out there who hate math. Like I was a math major. I love math, but for a lot of people who hate it, but even the most mathematical, moronic people know you can't do better than 5 for 5, unless you're like 6 for 6. But if they're only asking 5 questions, all we can do is get them all right.
No, I would not have gotten the nurse. I would not have gotten the song.
I learned Claire Barton was like that's some Toursville education something. I learned that somewhere in school.
Okay. Yeah, I did not know that. The WD-40 one is it's amazing how many people don't know what WD-40 stands for. But yeah, they were using it on rockets and missiles like back in the 50s and 60s when they were trying to. The guy who invented it as a way for, I think, the rockets or the missiles to either be smoother or it had something to do with condensation.
It should be WOE 40, which means it works on everything. Because when in doubt, you're just like, is there any WD-40?
Yeah, well, that's what they eventually figured out. They took it to the marketplace because it had so many household uses. Yeah, you just use it for
and ball bearings. That's it.
Yeah, that worked out well. We had some. I mean, we have some other things we can talk about. We can save them for tomorrow.
Let's save them for tomorrow.
We'll save them for tomorrow. There's a drought in California. There's a pipeline hack. Also, too, Wendy Bell is off the air. For anybody who listens to Wendy Bell, they took her off the air as of Monday. So maybe we'll learn more about that and talk. So a lot of topics.
Maybe they want to hire us. We're 5 for 5.
We're 5 for 5.
Do you know how many times we're going to mention that between now and next week? Next Tuesday, we're going to get questions from like the original Latin. Because there's no way he's letting us go 5 for 5.
I love that a radio station, after seeing that audio debacle, they're going to be like, listen, they have no idea how audio works, but they were 5 for 5 on trivia.
Listen, we don't have to. They have people to run the board for us. You think Wendy Bell was running her own board? Come on.
I bet you don't think Wendy Bell knows how to run a board?
Well, she probably does. You know how to do this. You just didn't. Today something happened and you couldn't fix it.
I did not know today.
The car wouldn't start and you didn't know what to do.
I got out of the car and started running down the street is what I did. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Thank you to Weiss Markets again. Congratulations to Kyla Allison on her Moon and Raven gift card. We hope you enjoy it. And we will be back tomorrow with some more topics. Thank you for watching the Midday Show on NorthcentralPa.com. I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina. Go out and enjoy the rest of your day.
And we were 5 for 5.
5 for 5.